Good afternoon. My name is Jamie. I will be the opposition whip. And first, I would like to summarize my team's points. So, essentially, our main point is built on this, that we have multiple points. The first of which is that the crime rate has gone down. There are two separate studies. The first one saying that crime has gone down 5.6%, and another saying that crime has gone down 15%. Conflict has gone down. And of course, the government team may say things like domestic abuse cases are increasing, but that's not the case. The reports of domestic abuse cases are increasing. These cases of domestic abuse have always been happening. Only now more of it is being reported. And governments around the world are acting to try and fix this. For example, in France, the French government are allowing victims of domestic abuse to stay in hotels, and the French government will cover the bills for this. So therefore, it is prevention of abuse, because how can abuse happen if the abuser is at home and the victim is in the hotel? They are now protected.
POA?
Decline. Now, as my first speaker has brought up before, people are inside an echo chamber where they'll just say things and it'll just echo back to them. COVID-19 has created a hole in this echo chamber. Now everybody are hearing their opinions. This is a very, very good thing, because now we are able to call out these people. Everybody will know what's really happening. Next point. Now I'd like to go on to my rebuttals. Oh, sorry. One last piece of my summary. As the Minister of the Women and Family Development Ministry, the Deputy Minister has said that there has been an increase in domestic violence cases reported, but a 57% increase from the national hotline, Talian Kase. But now the situation is still under control. Next, I'd like to go on to my rebuttals. Now, the first speaker, the second speaker, the third speaker, one of their main points of the government team is that wealthy people are taking advantage of this. They are benefiting from this, and the poor are being thrown to the curb and spit on. Now it's true that unemployment is increasing, especially among people who are in poverty, increasing poverty therefore. But the government, for example, in Malaysia, there is a B40 program where the bottom 40% of income gainers are supplemented with government pay, so they are able to survive this while they still can. And
POI?
Decline. And there are house payments and car payments are delayed for about 6 months, so they can survive during this time. And so the government team has also said that wealthy people are buying all the supplies that are necessary to this before the poor people are able to buy these products. It's always been like this, and not just with the situation now. It's always been like this. This COVID-19 isn't causing wealthy people to buy things before poor people and increasing that gap between rich and poor. Instead, it is just another example of what the rich are doing. It's always been happening. It's just another example.
POI?
Next would accept.
Are you denying that stock buying is occurring because of the lockdown?
I am not at all. I'm saying that stock buying has always been occurring, not just when it comes to this. This is just another example. Now, I'd like to give another rebuttal of the government team. They have said that mental health is going down, and this will make people want to blame somebody, and this will cause more protests in the streets. This is a baseless accusation. From last time I checked, none of the government team has a degree in psychology. They're saying that this is all based on psychology. It's all based in the facts, the science. But it's baseless. They didn't give a doctor or a psychologist who is saying so. They're saying this baseless. There's no proof of this actually occurring. Next would be the second speaker specifically said that reports of domestic abuse is going down. No, it has increased. It's increased dramatically. There's a 57% increase in calls. And this was just in the first month of lockdown. It has increased. Next, the third speaker has said that, regarding what my second speaker said, that French hotels isn't prevention. As I've said in my summary earlier, it is prevention. The victims are being housed away from the abusers. Okay, and to continue, the third speaker has said that hotlines are useless. They're just meant to vent. Now, okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of emergency hotlines like 999? They provide services. One example of a hotline is, yes, like what we said, where domestic abuse hotlines. But another emergency hotline is 999. Women who are now in lockdown, victims of domestic abuse who are now in lockdown, who are now stuck with their abusers, are forced to face this. But not just them. All of us are being forced to face how serious of a problem this is now. We cannot plead ignorance anymore. We are now being shown straight to the face of the problem of domestic abuse. Now, the government team wants to say that racism has increased, but it's increased constantly, and now people are being exposed because of this. With that, I'd like to end my speech.